I was sent today to cut the chains that have bound you for years and to open before you the door that was already decreed but delayed by the forces of darkness. I come with the direct order of the Most High. Time can no longer be postponed. Listen well, because only 20 minutes remain for a divine realignment that will change your life forever. This is not a symbolic number, but a living countdown on the clock of heaven. Every second now is precious. Every beat of your heart is a reminder that heaven moves in your direction. I am Michael, sent as messenger and warrior, and I bring to you the revelation that the time of delay is over. Listen to me. You thought your miracle was still far away, but it is already knocking at the door of your house. The blessing that was promised to you is not lost. It has not been cancelled, and it has not been forgotten. It only waited for the right moment to manifest, and that moment is now. Therefore, I tell you, open your eyes and your heart, for the signs are before you. What seemed like mere restlessness in your soul, those moments when you could not rest, were gentle touches from heaven preparing you for this encounter. It was not imagination, it was the spiritual trumpet sounding within you, calling you to be awake. How many times did you ask, Lord, how long? How many times did you cry out for deliverance from the debts that suffocate you, from the sicknesses that steal your peace, from the humiliations that wound your heart? I saw your tears. I was present in the moments when you thought you were alone. And today I tell you, this is the decisive moment, no longer as before, when you watched time pass and help did not arrive. Now heaven has decreed 20 minutes and the order will be carried out. I bring with me the flaming sword, not to strike you, but to cut the invisible bonds that the enemy raised against your life. Nets were woven to trap you, snares were set to delay your steps, but the Most High intervened. What was prepared in secret against you is being exposed to the light and dissolved by the fire of God. No plan of confusion will prosper against you. No word spoken to destroy your hope will have power, for I, Michael, stand before you as a witness of the divine decree. Your deliverance has come. You feel the weight on your shoulders as if an unbearable yoke were about to crush you. But I tell you, that yoke is being broken now. The hand of God is removing the burden that does not belong to you, and in place of oppression, He is placing on you the mantle of peace. Hear the promise. What you lost will be returned in double measure, and what you believed was dead will be restored. Do not think this warning is ordinary, for it is not. This is your moment. I ask you, will you let it pass? Will you again say tomorrow when heaven cries now? This is the instant when you must open the door of your heart. You have 20 minutes before you, 20 minutes not counted by men, but by God Himself. Every minute is a call. Every instant is a step toward your turning point. Do not fear the unexpected, for the unexpected is heaven's own intervention in your story. You thought the strange movements around you were coincidences, but they were not. People are being removed from around you. Others are being brought closer, like pieces on a board that God Himself is moving. He will not allow you to miss the opportunity that was designed for your life. Those who plotted against you will be scattered, and those who were sent to bless you will find their way to you. I know the struggle was long. I know the years of waiting consumed your strength. But understand, the waiting was the training ground. The desert was the preparation so that you could carry the abundance that comes now. It was not in vain. It was not wasted time. Every tear watered the soil where now the fruit of the promise springs forth. Declare with me, I believe in God's plan. Do not speak only with your lips, but let your soul cry out, for your declaration of faith is the key that opens what is still sealed. Do not keep this word only for yourself. Spread it like fire, for as you share what you receive, you multiply the harvest. Just as a flame does not diminish when lighting another, so your blessing is not lost when it becomes testimony, but grows. Listen, 20 minutes. This is heaven's deadline. This is the sound of the spiritual clock. It is not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Heaven is telling you that the hour is now. Your life will not continue in the same direction, for God has already intervened. The unexpected will knock at your door, and you will recognize that it is Him. Do not doubt, do not refuse, do not turn back. I am at your side, holding the message that was delayed many times, and now it is being delivered. The enemy tried to steal your time, tried to distract you with illusions, tried to convince you it was not worth waiting, but heaven has already declared the failure of his plans. You will not fall, for I, Michael, was sent to prevent your fall. The Lord has decreed victory, and victory it shall be. Therefore rise up, lift your head, and prepare your heart. You stand before the turning point of your story. The countdown has already begun, and within these 20 minutes, something will change irreversibly. What was darkness will become light before you. What was loss will become restitution, and what was silence will become a song of victory. This is the decree. The new season has begun, and nothing can stop what has already been written for your life. How many times did you think that the delay was a sign of abandonment? How many times did your tired mind whisper that nothing would change and that you were destined to carry the same weight forever? But I tell you, each delay was an act of protection. Each door that closed before you was a wall raised by heaven to prevent your fall into a hidden abyss. You did not notice, but while you cried over what you did not receive, angels were already moving to save you from traps that would have destroyed your future. Nothing was in vain. Nothing escaped the eyes of the Most High. Every detail was carefully written so that today you would arrive at this point in history. Remember the traveler who misses the train and despairs for not understanding the reason, only to discover later that that loss was deliverance. So it also happened to you. You saw job opportunities close, friendships break, projects fail, and you called it defeat. But I tell you, they were divine detours. They were not falls, they were secret shortcuts. Heaven was guiding you without your eyes understanding. What seemed like rejection was redirection. What seemed like delay was preparation. I was with you in the nights when you asked in silence, "Why me?" I heard your suffocated prayers, the ones that did not even leave your lips. You thought no one noticed you, but I was there, collecting each tear as seeds of a field that would still bloom. I did not leave you alone for a moment. When you walked with your head down through the streets, when the weight of bills and debts seemed greater than your strength, I was invisibly sustaining you, placing people on your path so that a word or a small gesture would lighten your load. Just as the potter works the clay, pressing, breaking, and remaking to shape something perfect, so also did heaven work on your life. Each pressure you felt was a hand shaping your essence. Each apparent breaking was an opportunity for something new to be formed. And even if you did not understand, each phase of pain was necessary so that your heart would be ready to receive what is coming. Because what is coming cannot be carried with the same mentality you had in the past. You remember the times when you lost something you loved deeply. That friendship that ended without explanation, that opportunity that seemed yours and escaped at the last moment. They were not mistakes of fate. They were deliverances from heaven. Because what seemed sweet before you hid poison, what seemed like gold was only disguised dust. And because God loves you, He did not allow you to drink from poisoned cups. You were protected, even without realizing it. Many times you said that your steps were in circles, repeating the same mistakes, living the same frustrations. But hear this, they were not circles. They were laps of learning. Just as the people in the desert went in circles until they were ready to enter the promised land, you also went through repeated paths so that your faith would be strengthened and your vision expanded. It was not punishment, it was training. You do not know how many attacks were diverted without you noticing. While you slept, battles were fought on your behalf. While you worked and grew weary, swords were raised from heaven to prevent evil from prospering against you. How many times was an accident avoided? How many times was a malicious word silenced? How many times did darkness want to approach and was stopped by the intervention of heaven? You did not see it, but you were guarded. You did not feel it, but you were preserved. Now understand that the silence of God was never absence, it was strategy. He did not speak because he was working. He did not answer because he was moving pieces on the invisible board of your life. And today you can understand that the delays, the losses, and the disappointments were only signs that something greater was being prepared, because heaven does not forget promises, and everything that was said about you will be fulfilled at the right time. Just as a farmer patiently waits for the rain before planting, you were kept until the ground of your heart was fertile. Now the rain has already fallen, and the soil is ready. Now what was preserved will come to you, not because you deserve it, but because it was decreed. Not because you have strength, but because the arm of the Most High has already stretched out over your life. I tell you, do not cry anymore for the closed doors. Do not lament anymore for the opportunities that are gone. What was loss will become testimony. What was delay will turn into doubled advancement. Today you understand that you were spared from tragedies you did not see, that you were diverted from paths that would destroy you. And because you remained, even in silence, even tired, now you will reap. Do not believe that your days were wasted. Even the hours of solitude, when you felt that no one saw you, were being used to draw you closer to heaven. Every detail was woven with precision. Every painful experience was converted into preparation. Heaven never lost control, and you were never forgotten. Today, I affirm before you, you were guarded, you were preserved, you were loved in every detail. And everything that seemed like delay was only the hand of God writing the page that now begins to be revealed before your eyes. How many times has your breathing accelerated for no apparent reason, and you thought it was just anxiety? How many times have you awakened in the silence of the night with a sense of urgency and did not understand that it was heaven calling you? I ask you, do you believe that these waves of restlessness arise by chance? No, my beloved. Every accelerated beat of your heart, every sudden discomfort is a sign placed in you to awaken your attention. What you call fear, I call divine alert. What you call nervousness, I call a gentle trumpet sounding within you. How many times have you ignored these signs, preferring to believe they were only human reactions? Did you not realize that I, Michael, was touching you so you would open your eyes? The enemy moves in silence, but heaven will never allow you to be caught by surprise. When you feel the restlessness, it is not to paralyze you, but to prepare you. It is like the sound of distant thunder announcing the coming storm. The warning is not to create panic, but so that you protect yourself. Why then do you insist on silencing the inner voice that cries out? How many times have you placed your hope only in what your eyes could see, forgetting that the greater reality is in the invisible? Do not be deceived. The world you do not see is more real than the one your eyes behold. And when you disregard the signs, it is as if you were closing the windows of your soul while the wind blows strongly outside. You say, I am afraid. But I ask you, afraid of what? If the Lord has already decreed your victory. Afraid of whom, if the strong arm of the Most High already sustains you? It is not fear that should guide your steps, but trust. It is not doubt that should reign in your heart, but faith. Because fear is like a shadow that grows when you turn your back on the light. But when you turn to the light, the shadow disappears. Listen well, the enemy will always try to plant fear in your mind because he knows fear paralyzes and paralysis steals opportunities. He will try to convince you that you are too fragile, too small, too incapable. But I tell you, within you dwells the spark of the eternal. You are clothed in promises that cannot fail. What you have is not weakness. It is potential kept by heaven until the right time. How many times have you stood paralyzed before a decision because you feared choosing the wrong path? I tell you, even if you choose a detour, heaven is able to redirect you. Do not torment yourself with doubt. Do not remain trapped in paralysis. More dangerous than taking an uncertain path is not taking any step at all. Fear steals your movements, but faith propels you. Do not let fear be the ruler of your heart. I ask you, will you ignore this warning once more? Will you continue treating the signs as if they were only passing thoughts? Will you continue believing you can solve everything alone? I tell you, your human strength is not enough, but heaven's strength is already in motion for you. Do not refuse the help that has already been released. Do not ignore the outstretched hand that has already descended to you. Do you think the divine breath upon your soul is only the fruit of your imagination? Remember how many times you were about to give up and something inexplicable lifted you. Remember when you were about to fall into error and a sudden circumstance changed your decision. That was not chance, that was not luck, that was intervention, that was care, that was heaven telling you, it is not the end yet, I sustain you. If I have shown you so many times the deliverances, why now do you doubt that I will continue at your side? Do you not know that I already intercede before the throne for you? Do you not know that there is a constant cry in heaven so that your faith will not fail? Even when your mind wavers, even when your body grows weary, even when you say, I cannot go on, heaven is already moving heaven and earth to prevent your fall. Do not fear the signs you feel, because they are not for your destruction, but for your preservation. Just as the alarm that awakens the house is not to bring dread, but to protect from danger, so also each touch in your heart is a warning of love. Heaven does not frighten you. Heaven guards you. The fear you feel is not yours. It is a shadow cast by the enemy, but the light of truth is already dispelling all darkness. I tell you firmly, do not fear. Even though the winds blow against you, even though the storm seems too strong, remember that the Lord calms seas with a single word. The same one who calls you now is the same one who commanded the winds to cease before the disciples. There is no opposing force that can resist the divine decree. I ask you again, will you ignore this warning once more? Because time does not wait, and the call is not repeated indefinitely. This is the hour to open your ears, to incline your heart, to leave fear behind. You were prepared for this moment, and nothing can rob you if you choose to trust. I am Michael, and I come in the name of the Most High to remind you, do not look at the shadow, look at the light. Do not surrender to fear, for fear is not your inheritance. Your inheritance is courage, victory, and endurance. What beats in your heart now is not despair, it is life pulsing, it is promise manifesting, it is divine alert saying, awaken, for your hour has come. Today I declare that not only will your life be transformed, but also everything that is connected to you. The breath of the Most High does not come in a limited way. It begins in you, but it does not end in you. Just as a fountain that gushes does not retain its waters, but lets them run until they form a mighty river, so also what begins in your heart will reach your home, your family, your descendants, and even those who are not yet born. The promise is not restricted to the present moment. It is a seed that crosses time and bears fruit that will remain forever. I come as a witness to tell you that the chains that were broken in your life will not again bind your children. The cycles of lack, the repetitions of pain, the marks of failure that seem to repeat in your family are being ended today. Your obedience, your faith, and your perseverance opened a new path. And this path will be walked not only by you, but by all who will come after you. What was a curse has been cut at the root. What was limitation has been replaced with inheritance. You thought that your struggles were only yours, but in truth, they were battles fought for those who will come after you. While you bowed in prayer, you raised a wall of protection around your own. While you resisted temptations, you wrote a story of freedom for your descendants. Because every decision you made in the silence of your heart was recorded as a covenant before the throne. And this covenant does not break, it remains as an eternal legacy. Look at your home, even if you see it in disorder, even if there are fights, sickness, or shortages. I tell you, the river of promise is already flowing between these walls. What seemed like death is receiving the breath of life. What seemed barren is being made fertile by the word that does not fail. You will not only see change in yourself, you will see change in those who are beside you. Because the blessing was not made to be isolated. It spreads like fire. It envelops like light. It covers like a mantle. You worried so many times about your children. You feared for their future. You asked if they would have opportunities, if they would be kept from danger. Listen, I have already designated angels to accompany them. I have already marked their paths with signs that will prevent them from straying. Even when you cannot be near, the presence of the Most High will surround them. Even when your eyes cannot watch, there will be eyes of heaven attentive to every step. Your children will inherit not only your blood, but also the promise. And it does not end there. What you are receiving now will not remain limited to those who live with you, but will expand to generations not yet born. Children you will never see, descendants who will carry your name without knowing your face, will live under the shadow of this promise. Just as the harvest of a farmer feeds not only his house, but also those who buy the fruit in the market, so also what you receive today will feed generations you cannot even imagine. Your yes to the call of heaven today will echo as inheritance for the future. You may think you are too small to carry something so great, but I tell you, it is not about your strength, it is about the divine decree. Heaven chooses fragile vessels to carry eternal glory so that no one confuses the source. Do not look at your limitations, because the promise that is upon you does not depend on your ability, but on the faithfulness of the one who promised. The Most High is not a man to lie, nor a son of man to repent. What he has spoken, he will fulfill, and you will be a witness that he is faithful from generation to generation. I see the river descending upon your life, first as a trickle of water touching your heart, then growing, widening its banks until it becomes a current that sweeps away every obstacle. Nothing will be able to resist the strength of what comes upon you. The river does not stop when it finds stones. It goes around, it advances, it continues until its final destination. So it will be with you. Even if obstacles rise, the promise will continue to flow, because nothing can stop what heaven has released. I tell you that your enemies will see this change and will not understand how it happened. Those who mocked your faith, who said you were wasting time, will witness that it was not wasted time, but invested time. They will see your home restored, your family in unity, your children protected, and they will recognize that the Lord was with you. And even those who tried to harm you will end up being touched by the blessing that overflows from you. And you yourself will understand that your story does not end in you. You are called to be the root of a tree that will give shade and fruit to many. You are the beginning of a lineage marked by victory, by prosperity, by faithfulness. What was shame will become testimony. What was pain will become strength. What was despair will become hope. And when you look back, you will realize that every tear watered a harvest that now expands through generations. Therefore, I tell you, rise with courage, because the blessing that begins in you today is greater than your understanding. It will reach your family, your children, the children of your children, and even those you will not know. What begins today is an eternal legacy. Do not fear, do not doubt, do not turn back. The river is already flowing, and no one will be able to interrupt its course. The decree has been released. Your life, your home, and your descendants are covered by the promise of the Most High. It is not enough to just hear the voice that now speaks to you. It is necessary that you rise up in faith and transform this word into action. What you receive in this moment is not only comfort, it is direction. And direction requires response. Declare with your mouth, "I receive the direction of heaven." Do not pronounce this as one who repeats empty phrases, but as one who engraves in the spirit an irrevocable decision, because the word released needs to be sealed by your response, and your declaration opens the space for the invisible to become reality. Do not keep what you hear only for yourself, because what is retained becomes sterile, but what is sown multiplies. Just as the seed sown in the earth will not bear fruit if it remains in the pocket of the sower, so too the promise that you keep only in silence will not generate a harvest. Speak, share, let others also hear, because your testimony is the key that will open doors not only for you, but also for those who walk by your side. Heaven does not work in isolation. Heaven moves in waves that reach many at the same time. How many times have you received something and remained silent, believing it would make no difference if you told it? How many times have you seen the help of heaven, but out of fear or shame, hid your experience? I tell you, the time of silence is over. Now is the time to make your faith public, because as you open your mouth, you release life to those who are dying of hope. Do not fear the judgment of men, because heaven rejoices with every word that confirms the faithfulness of God. Understand this, you were not chosen just to survive, you were chosen to be a channel. You are like a lampstand that cannot remain hidden, but must be placed in a high place to illuminate many. The light that is lit in you is not only to dispel your own darkness, but to guide steps that were lost around you. Do not hide the brightness you receive, because when you illuminate, you yourself become more illuminated. Time is short, and there is no room for hesitation. Immediate obedience produces immediate fruit. When heaven speaks, every second matters. If you delay the response, you run the risk of losing the movement that is already underway. Do not wait until everything is clear to your eyes, because obedience does not require explanations, it requires faith. What you decide now opens doors that would not be opened otherwise. I ask you, why would you keep for yourself what can save someone? Why would you hide the flame that can rekindle the extinguished heart of another? Think of those who walk without hope, of those who today are thinking of giving up. A word from you can be the sign they begged heaven for. A sharing of yours can be the thread that pulls someone back to life. Do not underestimate the power of the testimony that flows from you. You do not need a stage or crowds to speak. You only need courage. A message sent, a sincere conversation, a firm declaration can be the beginning of a transformation in someone's life. The word you spread now is not only yours, it is the echo of heaven itself. It is not about your ability to convince, it is about the anointing that carries every phrase that comes out of your mouth, and that anointing cannot be stopped. Understand that you are part of something greater. Every time you speak, you strengthen the chain of faith that sustains this time. Every time you share, you multiply the harvest. The enemy wants to isolate you so that you believe you are alone, but heaven desires that you join many, forming an army of living witnesses. And when voices unite, walls fall, chains break, territories are conquered. Do not underestimate the simplicity of your action. A small gesture in the natural is giant in the spiritual. The extended hand, the shared word, the prayer made in secret, all of this is added before the throne and generates movement in the invisible regions. What you do in obedience is never in vain. Every act of yours is recorded and multiplied. I tell you that this word you receive today cannot die in you. You were chosen to be a seedbed, and the more you distribute, the more you receive. It is the divine law. Give, and it will be given. If you close your hand, nothing enters and nothing leaves. But if you open it, heaven itself will take care to fill it again. Do not fear being emptied, because the source that sustains you never runs dry. Lift your voice, lift your hand, lift your faith. Make visible what heaven is doing inside you. Your testimony is the banner that shows the world that God still acts, that heaven still speaks, that miracles still happen. Do not be silent, because your silence can cost someone's miracle. But your released word can be the key that opens the prison of many. I command you with love and authority. Act now. Do not wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow does not belong to you. Today is the day of decision. Today is the day to turn your faith into action. Heaven has already moved, but your response will give shape to what is being released. So declare, I receive the direction of heaven. Speak with conviction, speak with faith. Speak as one who knows that this is not a common phrase, but an eternal decree. And after declaring, act, sow, share, spread. Because what you move now will have effect not only in your life, but also in lives you will never know. I tell you, you were raised as a prophetic voice for this time. Do not be silent, because your sound is necessary. Do not withhold, because your fruit is urgent. Time is short, but what you do now will echo in eternity. Heaven awaits your response, and when it comes, the earth will tremble with the harvest of your obedience. The years of waiting and tears were not forgotten. They were the ground where your resistance was cultivated. I saw every night when you laid your head down exhausted and believed that nothing would change. I saw every morning when you lifted your tired body and yet continued, even without strength. Every tear that fell was not lost, but was counted and watered like water that prepared the soil of your victory. Today I declare that the weight you carried for so long is being removed. Just as chains fall to the ground, what bound you will no longer have authority over you. What once delayed your journey will turn into acceleration, because when heaven intervenes, what consumed years is resolved in moments. I know you thought you were a prisoner of situations that would never change. You convinced yourself that your destiny would always be to walk in circles, with half dreams and strength consumed by waiting. But I say, the time of oppression is over. The invisible hands that tried to bind you have already been broken by the power of the Most High. You are no longer under the dominion of what weighed you down. Now the road that was blocked before you opens like a divided sea, and you will cross without looking back. You became accustomed to carrying old guilt, hidden pain, and memories that weighed on your shoulders like sacks of stone. But today, I tell you, you will no longer carry burdens that do not belong to you. What happened in the past does not define who you are. The wounds that once bled have been touched by the hand of healing. What you could not release, heaven has already taken from you. Forgiveness has already been released, and the weight of remorse no longer accompanies you. Now you walk lightly, because you were called to advance and not to remain bound. I know that for a long time you thought there was no way out. I know your eyes filled with despair, and many times you believed that life had ended for you. But understand, what seemed like the end was only the moment when the root was cut so that something new could be born. You were not abandoned, you were prepared. You were not forgotten, you were hidden until the time came to be lifted up. Now listen. What once consumed you will no longer have dominion. The illness that tried to weaken your body, the scarcity that tried to extinguish your hope, the loneliness that tried to silence you, none of this will have power over you anymore. The strength of the Most High has already entered your story and transformed the narrative. What was once a burden will now become testimony. What was once pain will become strength. What was once delay will become acceleration, because I, Michael, was sent to declare that you no longer live under the old weight, but under the mantle of victory. Just as the slave who sees the chains shattered and feels freedom touch his skin for the first time, so you will feel the lightness in your soul. What was once darkness now receives light. What was once prison is now an open path. Nothing can bind what has already been freed by heaven. You were not created to live bowed down, but to walk with your head held high. The enemy tried to bend you with loads that were not yours, but the Most High stretched out his hand and lifted you up. Remember how many times you said, "I cannot take it anymore"? Well, I tell you, now you will not need to endure, because what was heavy is no longer upon you. Heaven has removed from your shoulders the baggage that overwhelmed you. You are free to run without shackles, to dream without fear, to lift your head without shame. Shame has fallen to the ground, humiliation has been undone, and the honor of heaven rests upon you. Do not look back with regret anymore. Do not relive the memories that stole your peace. The time of carrying pain is over. Now you look forward, because there is a future of abundance prepared for you. You are no longer defined by losses, but by promises. You are no longer shaped by tears, but by the victories that will be born from them. The waiting was not in vain. It only built in you the strength necessary to sustain the abundance that is coming. Just as an athlete who trains in silence, carrying weights to strengthen his muscles, you too were strengthened in secret. Now, when the time comes to run, your endurance is enough to surpass the limits. The weight of the past no longer accompanies you, but the strength gained in the waiting remains in you. Therefore, you will not stumble, you will not fall, you will not be defeated. I declare that what was once delay in your life will turn into speed. What used to take years will happen in months. What seemed impossible will appear before your eyes. Divine acceleration has already been released. What you lost will be restored in double measure. What you believed to be dead will be resurrected before you, and you will understand that nothing was in vain, that even the old weight had a purpose, but now it no longer exists. Rise with courage, because you are no longer a prisoner. The chains have fallen, the doors have opened, heaven has decreed your freedom. Now walk with lightness, because you were called to conquer. Do not carry anymore what heaven has already taken from you. Live as one who knows they have been freed. Speak as one who knows they have been restored. Act as one who knows they have been chosen. For you were set apart not to live under weight, but to walk in victory. It is necessary that you remain awake, because what is about to happen will not follow the natural rhythm you know. What comes will not be the result of human calculations. It will not come by logic or control, but it will break forth in an unexpected way. And only those whose eyes and ears are open will discern the movement of heaven. Do not treat the extraordinary as if it were common, because what is approaching is direct intervention from the Most High in your life. Many will look and think it is chance, but you will know it is an answer. Within the time that now runs, you will be placed before signs that will require decision. It is not a time for indecision, but for readiness. When heaven moves, the response must be immediate, for to delay is to waste. Therefore, I tell you, prepare your heart, sharpen your sensitivity, because in 35 minutes, decisions will have to be made, and only those who are awake will be able to understand the call. What seems small in human eyes will be great before God. What seems insignificant at the beginning will be the seed of an eternal harvest. How many times have signs been placed before you and you treated them as common things? How many times did a word, an unexpected situation, a sudden change happen, and you thought it was just coincidence? Do not deceive yourself any longer, because heaven does not work with chance. Every detail, every movement, every interruption in your routine is divine orchestration. The unexpected is the path by which God moves to lead you to the prepared destiny. I am before you, and my order is to dismantle the hidden traps against you. Nothing escapes the gaze of the Most High. Snares were laid in silence, paths were prepared for you to stumble, but all are being destroyed even before you see them. You will not fall into the snare because heaven has already entered the scene. The false doors that seemed like opportunities have already been closed. The deceptive voices that would try to confuse you have already been silenced. Now understand, the preparation is not only external, it is internal. It is of no use that the traps are removed if your heart is not awake for the new. It is of no use that the angels open the way if you remain looking back. It is time to align your spirit, to put aside distractions, to silence voices of fear, so that you can perceive the whisper of heaven. The sign will not come with noises that everyone will see. It will come gentle but powerful, and only the attentive will recognize it. You have felt a tightening in your heart, an uneasiness you cannot explain, and I tell you, this is the Spirit calling you to preparation. Do not ignore this call. Do not drown your soul in distractions. Many have lost what heaven released because they treated the extraordinary as routine. But you are not being called to live like the others. You were set apart to discern. I ask you, will you be awake when the unexpected knocks at your door? Will you recognize the hand of God when He moves pieces in your life suddenly? Or will you continue to attribute to chance what is the work of heaven? I tell you that the signs have already begun, and this is the time to awaken. Do not delay your response any longer, because the minutes are running. Do not fear, because I myself go before you. My wings already surround you. My sword already shines in your defense. Those who plotted against you in secret will not succeed. Those who thought they could steal your opportunity will see their plans fall to the ground. The eyes that watched you with intent of downfall will be confounded. No evil will have the power to touch what God has already set apart for you. What is approaching will require courage. It will not be a moment to retreat, but to advance. Heaven has already prepared resources, has already moved hearts, has already aligned circumstances. You will only need to take a step of faith and recognize that it is the Most High who leads you. Do not look to your strength, for it is not what will sustain you. Look to the promise, for it is what will open the doors before you. Just as the watchman who remains awake at dawn to announce the sunrise, you also were called to be awake now. And when the light breaks forth, you will be the first to see. You will be prepared to receive what many will lose for lack of attention. And when you receive it, your mouth will be filled with song, because you will understand that it was the faithfulness of God that sustained you until now. I declare that no distraction will have the power to steal your perception. No noise of the world will drown out the voice that calls you. No deception will have the strength to confuse your discernment. You are being prepared to receive the extraordinary. What is coming is greater than you imagined, deeper than you asked, more powerful than you dreamed. Therefore, I tell you, stay alert. Do not let spiritual sleep envelop you. Do not allow routine to rob you of expectation. The unexpected is about to break forth, and you will be a living witness that heaven still acts on earth. I am before you, dismantling what was plotted, protecting your steps, and opening the way. The time is short, but the victory is certain. The promise is already in motion, and nothing can stop what has been released. The change that is approaching is not small. It is the dividing line of your story. I announce to you that what was once confusion will now become clarity. What you saw as darkness will be illuminated before you with such an intense light that it will dissipate all the shadows that tried to remain in your path. The enemy planned to confuse your steps, tried to intertwine your ways in labyrinths of deceit and fear, but the sword of heaven has already torn his plans, and they have been exposed and annulled. Nothing that was plotted against you will remain standing. You were chosen to go through this time and to see before your eyes the triumph of the Most High. Rise up, because the new season is not a distant promise. It has begun now. The ground beneath your feet already feels the move of heaven. The wind that blows no longer brings the weight of waiting, but the freshness of newness. You will no longer live from the scraps of yesterday, but from the manna that falls today. What was withheld has already been released. The season of scarcity has ended, and before you the field of abundance already blooms. I saw your days of tears, I saw your nights of silence, and now I declare that time is over. What the enemy thought would be your ruin will turn into a platform for your victory. What he set up as a fall will be used as a springboard for your elevation. What he tried to destroy in you will become testimony of the care and faithfulness of God. Nothing will be able to stop what has already been decreed, because the word that comes from the mouth of the Most High does not return empty, but fulfills the purpose for which it was sent. Listen, you will cross this valley and see before you the table prepared by God Himself. Those who laughed at your faith, those who doubted your walk, will see with their own eyes the honor being placed upon your head. What was once a reason for shame will now be a reason for exaltation. You will be lifted up, not by the strength of your hands, but by the outstretched arm of heaven. You thought you were alone, but you were not. In every step, in every struggle, angels were around you. You did not see, but you were guarded. You did not hear, but you were defended. And now, when you think there is no way out, it is exactly the moment when the door opens before you. Not a common door, but a door that will lead you to a destiny you never imagined. The unexpected has already begun to manifest, and you will feel that what is approaching cannot be explained by human hands, because it is heaven itself intervening. I declare over you, the shackles have fallen, the chains have been broken, and what held you no longer has power. You were called to walk free, and that is how from now on you will walk. Free from guilt, free from pain, free from fear. The promise was not delayed, the promise matured, and now it arrives at the perfect time, at the moment when your life can sustain it. Do not be deceived by the appearance of circumstances. Even if your natural eyes see nothing, your spiritual eyes must be open, because heaven has already decreed. What was silence will now become song. What was desert will become garden. What was loss will become double harvest. This is the final seal upon your life. You were marked by the victory that cannot be taken from you. I ask you, has not the time come for you to rise and walk as heir of the promise? Has not the time come to leave behind the weight of doubt and take possession of what has already been placed in your hands? Do not hesitate, because the season has changed. Do not find yourself stuck in yesterday, because tomorrow is already here, pulsing before you. I declare that your voice will be heard as testimony. You will no longer be remembered for your struggles, but for the faithfulness of God that was revealed in you. Your name will be linked to victory, and those who come after you will walk the paths that now open. This is not just a momentary achievement, it is an eternal decree established over your life and over your house. The enemy tried to steal your hope, but he did not succeed. He tried to destroy your faith, but it remains. He tried to extinguish your flame, but the breath of heaven rekindled the fire within you. Now you are lifted up as a living sign that light always conquers darkness. Nothing can extinguish what the Most High has lit in you. Rise up, because the new season has begun now. Walk with your head held high, because there is no accusation that prospers against you. Walk firmly, because your steps are already guarded. Open your mouth and declare victory, because your voice will echo like a trumpet that announces that the war is over and the victory has been won. This is the final seal. You will no longer live in the same place as before, because you have been transported to a new dimension of grace. What once seemed unreachable is now within your reach. What once seemed lost is now restored. What was once only promise has now become reality. I, Michael, declare before you that nothing can stop what was written about you. The decree has been released. The time has been fulfilled. The season has changed. You are a witness of the faithfulness of God, and what begins today will be perpetuated forever. Rise up, take possession and walk, because what was night has already turned into dawn before your eyes.